Hi everybody, my name is Kim, and welcome back to Bookmarks and Breadsticks. Welcome back to Bookmarks and Breadsticks. You're here for the first episode of RND, Research and... what do we say the D stood for? Read and Delight. Read and Discovery. This new series is going to be called Read and Discovery. This is going to be a series dedicated to the books that are micro-histories, focusing on one item. For example, what I have for you today is Extra Virginity, the Sublime and Scandalous World of Olive Oil by Tom Mueller. This book came out in 2012 and comes in at around 250 pages, including the citations and epilogue. Now, Mueller is a journalist and he's obsessed with fresh olive oil. For millennia, fresh olive oil has been one of life's necessities, not just as food, but also as medicine, a beauty aid, and a vital element of religious rituals. But this symbol of purity has become deeply corrupt. A superbly crafted combination of cultural history and food manifesto, Extra Virginity takes on a journey through the world of olive oil, opening our eyes to olive oil's rich past as well as to the fierce contemporary struggle between oil fraudsters of the globalized food industry and artisan producers whose oil truly deserves the name extra virgin. So first, olive oil has 3 different grades. The top is extra virgin. Extra virgin olive oil, it can only be made if the product does not touch any chemical processing. In the old days, this meant that the olive oil was pressed by hand, by man, without machines. Nowadays, we use something called a centrifuge, which spins very, very quickly and separates the actual liquid, aka the oil, from the actual olive fruit. Other fun fact, olives are fruits, they grow off of trees. Olive oil mainly is known for being found in Italy, but actually you can find olives all over the world, including Greece, Italy, Portugal, and Tunisia. There's also different varieties of olives. I'm sure we have all thought of black olives or Kalamata olives or green olives. Those are the kinds you kind of get at a grocery store. But similar to how there are grapevines, heritage grapes, and different harvests, there are actually different varieties of grapes that can be crossbred to help create unique flavors. And these are things that Mueller investigates visiting some of the oldest olive orchards, olive vineyards in Italy and around the world. Those older businesses desperately want to pass their legacies on to their next generations, but they find more and more that unless you're willing to play in a game of economies of scale, which means mass production, lower quality, a lot of the important gifts that made olive oil unique have slowly disappeared. So to my right, I have an example of a mainstream olive oil. This is Filippo Berio, and this is considered extra virgin olive oil. On the left, this is a vintage, small manufacturer that makes fat gold, and this comes from California. I won't tell you the prices yet, but there's quite a difference. We'll also taste them and smell them later in a cutting. So Mueller visits various vineyards, as I mentioned, processing plants and manufacturers, and the back of the book is quite accurate in saying that it is cultural history and a food manifesto. So in the past, olive oil at first was medicinal. It was, you got a cut, put olive oil on it. You got hives, put olive oil on it. You're bleeding from the inside out, just drink some olive oil. And olive oil is meant and is marketed to have very good health properties. And in the book, even they're not sure when people suddenly decided to consume olive oil. So at first it was really a medicine. Even back to the times of Homer and Iliad and the Odyssey, there are references also of oils being used to enhance a person's appearance. The men, often of Greece and Rome, would bathe in olive oil before going to war. And it made them also handsome, which the Greek gods fell in love with you, blah, 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 scandalous stuff. So it's all about medicine and a beauty aid, and the families that grew up with olive oil in the book also, like every day, would have a tablespoon of olive oil because it was good for them, it was good for their skin, it made them live longer. Now, I'm not sure I could ever do that because I don't like the taste of this olive oil. You'll see that later when Dan joins me. But all in all, the olive oil fraud is as scandalous, if not more scandalous, than what goes on in the wine world. So for a long time, wines didn't list any vintages or vineyards or grapes or anything until there was a large outbreak of poisoned wines that were mixed with harmful chemicals that killed hundreds of people. That unfortunately has never happened in the olive oil world. But what happens is the 3 different grades of olive oil: extra virgin olive oil that I mentioned. Then there's virgin olive oil, which means just a lower quality. And then there's lamp oil. To hit the extra virgin olive oil, you need to be of a pure value. But because olive oil is so unregulated in the global market, you often will be purchasing adulterated olive oil. What does that mean? Adulterated olive oil means that your extra virgin olive oil could actually be a blend of multiple olives from different areas of the world, not just Italy, which a lot of consumers assume that olive oil comes from Italy. It's marketed that way. Think of the flags, the commercials. I think of Bertolli, but that's not the right brand. So you have all of the implied marketing of Italy when olives might not be from Italy. They might be from the Middle East, they might be from Portugal, so on. The second thing where your olive oil could become adulterated is that it could actually be mixed with other olive oils. Olive oil can sometimes be cut with vegetable oil. Mueller also explains that sometimes hazelnut oil is used to blend oils. How someone hasn't had an allergic reaction to olive oil because hazelnut oil is a tree nut and tree nut's a top allergen, I have no idea how a scandal hasn't broken out yet. I found this book fascinating. It's a really quick read. It's very informative, and I hope that you read it and it will make you think twice when you go to the supermarket shelf. Other ways olive oil could be adulterated. Essentially, olives are fruits. They're meant to be peppery and fragrant and have aroma. But to meet the needs of an American market, it's essentially dumbed down. It is colorless, sometimes has a little bit of a green look, but it's essentially colorless. It has no fragrance whatsoever and is meant to be as plain and dull as possible. So it is the base for other ingredients. And that's such a shame. Like, we're just I guess to the global market, we're just an unsophisticated group of people who can't experience sour notes or acidic notes. I think of salt, fat, acid, heat. Olive oil is meant to be in like an acidic world, in a bitter world, and instead it just becomes this blah base of nothingness, and it's quite disappointing. I want to read more about olives. So the good thing about a book is if I finish a book and I want to learn more about a subject, that's always a really good sign. I don't assign star ratings to books anymore, but this is definitely one of the most interesting micro histories I've read so far. I definitely think Mueller is a journalist, but he's also a very good storyteller. He essentially is a journalist who becomes an explorer, like a scholar, a bard. Like, he just goes full blown down the rabbit hole of olive oil, and he loves it. He becomes obsessed with it, and there's a sense of wonder in his narrative that I really appreciate, and that's what keeps the book very interesting. But all in all, that's my high-level review, The R of Read and Discover. This is the book that I read. Now I'm going to cut to Dan. Dan is going to join us, and we are going to test these 2 products and have a cutting or a tasting. That is where the delight portion comes in. Before we jump into the delight portion of this R&D episode, don't forget to hit like and subscribe below. And if you're looking for ways to support my channel, I have links down below to my Patreon and to my bookshop.org affiliate page. If you want to purchase a copy of this book, use my affiliate link and I will get a small commission. But also, by working with bookshop.org, a portion of your proceeds also supports independent bookstores throughout the United States. So you're helping me, you're helping bookstores. For my Patreon, there are 3 different tiers that you can join, and one of the major benefits of the tier is that you guys get to vote on what future episodes of R&D with Kim and Dan you want to see in the future. Now, let's get to that delight and let's get to eating. Okay. Hi.
Hi.
So now we are going to try olive oil. So what you don't know is I will have filmed a bunch of talking points up until this point. And now we're going to try 2 olive oils. The first we have is Filippo Berio extra virgin olive oils. This is what we buy in Wegmans. This is regular olive oil. Now, I will give it credit that on the back of this, it says, there's a seal on here, and I'll put it up there, but aboutoliveoil.org. This seal signifies Filippo Berio olive oils have been tested and meet or exceed the International Olive Council's stringent worldwide scientific and sensory standards for quality and authenticity. This well-balanced extra virgin olive oil has a distinctly rich taste. It's a flavorful base for dressing, sauces, marinades, and for tasty drizzle on steamed vegetables and pastas. I really hope this audio is not shit because of the dishwasher. If not, we'll voice it over, or we'll film it again. Ingredients: extra virgin olive oil.
Hey team, so it's Kim in the post-production room. I did end up finding the website for the official seal, and it seems like it's only specific to North America, and the companies and brands have to sign up to be a part of it and have their oils tested. So if you see, I did find Filippo Berio, but what I didn't find on the website was who the hell are these people who are evaluating the product? Like, that's where it starts to feel kind of sketchy. The seal is newer. I think it's from 2016, 2017. So that's good. This comes after the publication of the book. So it does seem like there are strides being made to counteract the adulteration of olive oil. But this is North America. So there's still a very good chance that the olive oil, extra virgin olive oil moving through Europe, Africa, Middle East, and etc. is still adulterated. I also am not quite sure, again, who works on these. And if you pay to play to have your product evaluated, aren't you kind of paying for someone to give you an evaluation? I'm not really sure. Yeah, North American only. Like, who's the global board that's going to review this? I don't know. Do you get what I mean? How it seems weird? And now they're saying in 2015, the FDA did a study, and now olive oil, wow, I can speak, is not as adulterated as it used to be. But the FDA does not have a good reputation. They don't test as rigorously as they should, or as often as they should. But anyway, if you're looking for certified olives or olive oils, this website does show you what to look for in your grocery store and what brands are part of the seal program. Hope that helps.
Packed in Italy with select extra virgin olive oils from Greece, Italy, Portugal, and Tunisia. Wow, I'm not. Anyway, so it's a big deal that they even mention the fact that not all of their olives are from Italy. Most don't even do that. Let's see how many times I can awkwardly turn and not open that. Here you go. The other one.
This top is just broken.
It could be broken. Well, Dan's opening that one. The other one we have is Fat Gold. And Fat Gold is the flavor profile on the back reads bold and peppery, California extra virgin olive oil, made from Frantoio.
Doesn't mean anything to me.
Frantoio and Moreno olives, harvested in October and November of 2020. So this is certified by the California Olive Oil Council, certified extra virgin. Don't really know what that means for the whole point of this book. I do think it's interesting that they talk about what specific varieties of olives they're growing. So they're not going to mention regions, but they're going to mention the heritage, which is similar to what they do with wines. They'll tell you what grapes they use, and etc. I also think it's interesting that bold and peppery is the flavor note on this. Most olive oils, at least for the American palate, are made to be boring and a base. Can you not open it either?
No.
Slam it on the table.
I'm gonna stab it.
So they also sent this cute little book, How to Taste Olive Oil Like a Pro. Grab a spoon or a tiny cup and pour a little bit. Smell it. Olive oil has tons of aroma. Take a sip, slurp it in with a bit of air at the same time. Now swallow it. There are 3 things you're looking for in an extra virgin olive oil, all in balance: fruitiness, bitterness, and pungency. Fruitiness. Olives are fruit, and you can smell the evidence in a well-made extra virgin olive oil. Here are some aromas and flavors you might find. Ooh, I'm not gonna read them, and I'm just gonna see if Dan and I notice. Bitterness. If you ever eat an olive oil straight off the tree, you'll discover that they are very, very bitter. Some of the bitterness may make its way to the oil. It hits the mouth on the tongue. Pungency is a fancy word for spicy, tickling, or burning sensation that you might feel at the back of your throat. It's not spicy like a chili pepper, more like ginger or radish. Dan, do you want to bring shot glasses over, I guess?
Guess so. Just a minute, things have gone slightly awry.
What's wrong? Did you break the cap?
And it exploded.
So Dan off camera has exploded the olive oil.
But only part of it.
Only part of it. I don't know what that means.
As in some of it still remains within the bottle. This is a very badly made cap, I will say.
So as a reminder, this was not sent to me as a gift. I bought this with my own money, but I did want to support a small business olive oil, so I did pick one in the United States and picked it in California. So super exciting. I've known about Fat Gold because of my working relationship with Nourishing Notes. Nourishing Notes is the brand that makes that really cute wrapping paper that I use for Bookmarks and Breadsticks and the Read It and Eat box. They were selling this along with other kits on their website, and I thought this was really cool. Also, the packaging is just really nice. I'm a sucker for really good packaging. It does warn me that the plastic top pulls out from the tin to form a pouring spout. Don't be afraid to apply steady pressure. This can be puzzling, so now we've posted a video. Oh, guys, we can't even open regular olive oil. I'm gonna make Dan open it.
On the plus side, the olive oil soaking into my skin must be really good for it.
Hey man, that's what the original Greeks did. They and the Romans, they would bathe their warriors in olive oil and then be like, go naked men, fight each other. And if they were going to have
So the arrows just slide right off them?
Pling, pling. And in their world, they actually encouraged male-on-male intimacy. If they,
I knew that.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry, I didn't, and they talked about it in the book.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so let's first, wow, the perforated seal on this did not work, apparently, on this cap. So the first thing we're supposed to do is pour some. Ugh. I shouldn't have the
Oh, that is a crazy top. Look at that.
All right, so we're gonna do the first one first. That was okay. Can you turn that around so they can see the packaging and turn it this way? A little more this way. Thank you. All right, so first we have to smell it. It smells like nothing.
Yeah, like nothing.
Which is not surprising because a lot of olive oils go through a process, an adulteration process, where they actually remove the smells of olive oil.
Don't the tasting notes just say rich and flavorful with nothing specific?
Yes, it does. It says it is a flavorful base for other dressings, and it has a distinctly rich taste, which means
nothing.
Marketing puffery. All right, I know I'm supposed to make that slurping thing wine tasters do, but I don't know how. So. Tastes gross.
Yeah, I really don't like that.
It's just a base.
It's just oily. Like a little bit like corn.
Well, that's not good if it tastes like corn. All right, takes a piece of bread.
It's like watery corn.
In the book, when Mueller's visiting the other olive vineyards, he talks about how the family has 6 different bottles of olive oil right on the table, and they're just olive oil for this thing, a little bit of olive oil for that thing, because they're all so different and flavorful because of the different olives they use. This makes me sad. This makes me very sad.
Yeah.
I mean, all I ever use olive oil for is a base to cook with.
It's like a lubricant.
Oh.
Not like motor oil, not like that, but.
Did you know what the lowest tier of olive oils is? The Italian word for lamp oil. It's like lamparte or something. So just so you know, olive oil levels go extra virgin olive oil, lamp oil.
Diesel generator.
Well, that's why it was such a big problem. Why it's such a big problem is that the olive oil is not heavily tested and protected globally. Like the standard of identity allows for a small percentage of blending, but because the FDA maybe tests 1% of what's coming into the United States, probably 70% of the olive oil on shelves is adulterated, which means it's made of lesser quality olives than the extra virgin olive oil standard. Now, I didn't know about oliveoil.org. It was not mentioned in this book, which makes me think I don't trust it. It makes me think it's just big olive oil corporations.
I'm a little suspicious of a .org.
I mean, God orders don't bother me, but the idea that it could be a lot of rich businesses who make their own nonprofit branch. Like, who is the unbiased?
Right. Who's on this?
Who's the third party? Because for a while, what they used to do, and they talk about it in the book, Mueller talks about it, is they would bring in third party testers, like unbiased, right? That's the word, unbiased testers. They were scientists, and then if they presented results that the big business didn't want, the big business, like mob style, would threaten the individual. So they were bullied and nobody wanted to do it.
That sounds about right.
Wow, I can't even get this lid back on.
Nope.
Okie dokie. Let's move on to the other oil. So now we are going to test Fat Gold. I almost feel like you can talk to it like with pride of what vintage it is. It is the fall. I can't speak. It's the fall 2020 vintage.
Very good year, so I'm told. It wasn't a good year.
Well, I mean, it had a change. No, that was just this past. Never mind. We were still in COVID. It wasn't a good year. What is time? Okay, let's focus. Now let's smell it. See, this one I can already smell something.
Yeah, it's definitely a little more.
I smell
I don't have a good sense of smell to begin with, so like.
It smells like grass, honestly. That's what I smell fresh grass clippings, but. And maybe like.
There's
a pepper?
a tiny bit, yeah. Like it's very faint to me.
Do you want to know what they told us we should be smelling?
Please do.
They're aromatic fruitiness notes that you might smell. Here are some aromas and flavors you might find. Green banana, artichoke, or something almost flowery. Which maybe the cut grass is flowery. And then the bitterness notes and the pungency I won't read yet. All right. Cheers.
Oh, that is different. I get bitterness. I get the pepper. Yeah, that is dynamically different. So yeah, it comes with bitterness, like biting into an unripe banana peel.
Well, it did say banana.
No, banana peel specifically.
Okay.
I do get some pepper notes from
But
it.
let me at least try it on bread or something. It's much better on bread.
It has a lot more going on, I'll tell you that.
So first, I think my faces are coming from the fact that I'm just not used to olive oil in that way. Most Americans don't drink olive oil.
Sure don't.
In the book, he talks about how the family every day would feed their children a tablespoon of olive oil every day because
For a shiny, lustrous coat.
that and the actual omega-3s and the actual good fats that are in extra virgin olive oil usually don't make it to us in America because of the adulteration process. So I make that face because it's a fat coating my tongue. Now it's less viscous, I found, than the, I'll call it the mainstream bottle. I don't know if you had that experience. To me, it was almost thinner.
A little bit.
But way more flavor. So I got the flowery notes. I did not get anything very peppery or pungent, per se. But I'd love to know what you thought.
It was definitely like bitter to me off the beginning. Like I said, biting into a banana peel. I got some pepper feeling in the back of my throat. So bitter and pepper are what I mostly got from it.
They said that the notes for bitterness you might taste remind you of coffee, arugula, walnuts, or a hoppy beer. And for pungency the spicy tickling sensation, it is more like ginger or radish. So the notes I got were definitely like the arugula and the radish. The other thing I can say is it tastes earthy in a good way. Like this tastes like it came from the earth. Like
a little more mellow.
It tastes real, if that's a
word.
It
was bitter but not sharp.
Like this is something I could actually see for the base of a dressing because it has personality. Versus this, I put in a frying pan.
It acts as like a just a base. I don't know, like a base liquid. It doesn't have.
That's what
flavor.
it is. It even says it's a flavorful base.
Yeah, you have to add flavor around.
Yeah, so this you have to add to, and this one stands on its own. And I think that's like the big distinction. In America, we're driven by sugar profiles. And so they dumb down flavors to blandness and sweetness. that we then add to on top of, versus what this is going to do is show you what an olive actually is and what happens when it's milled. And it's actually 2 different olives again. I think it says Frantoio and Moreno, which now makes me want to go read about different olive varieties. But
there's definitely a lot more to this one. It's subtle. I mean, I'm not a professional. I don't have a palate for it, but definitely more flavors. Like, there's dimension going on here. There's not there.
Yeah. This is like coat your pan. This, if you wanted to make a marinade, I would use this.
Yeah, like if I just basic stuff like coating your pan, like you said. But like if I was gonna make a salad dressing or any recipe that required it.
Let's play the game of price. Dan, how much do you think this extra virgin olive oil, 16.9 fluid ounces, costs?
I mean, I always got the impression that olive oil is expensive, so I'm gonna say like $9.
$5.95.
I guess I feel a little bit better about that
You feel better? Why?
because it seems like you're not paying an exorbitant amount for what someone could convince me was canola oil or sunflower oil or anything else.
Okay. My thoughts on that is you're paying shit for shit. But
Yeah.
But what breaks my heart is people don't know that extra virgin olive oil could be better, which is what the whole book is about. How much do you think that is?
It's a nice can. Comes from a very niche sort of business. I'm gonna say $15.
$30 plus shipping.
Not even close.
I mean, double the markup. So clearly there's a cost difference here. We can also remind everyone that this is like a global brand, mass production. They can make it scale.
Economies of scale.
Economies of scale. This is one vineyard. I'm going to call it a vineyard. That's actually what they started to call themselves. One vineyard, small batch, California, $30. Now, putting aside economies of scale, this is adulterated. This is mellowed out. This has no flavor. This has flavor. I actually still have it sitting on my palate, even though I've been eating toast, which is kind of, I want to say strange because I'm just so not used to that. I'm not used to the last thing on my palate to be an oil, which is interesting. Now, here's the question that comes next is, are our lives forever changed? Like, I don't know if I could imagine cooking with that olive oil when it's $30.
I would never use it because I would feel incredibly guilty, like pouring money into the fire.
But we pay for, let's say, local meat, organic meat. We pay the upcharge there. Why are we not willing to do it on olive oil?
I don't feel like I use olive oil as much as like a flavor base for anything. Like if I were someone who ate like a pasta that had like olive oil as the main sort of dressing to it a lot, then maybe I would consider it.
So if we made our own salad dressings,
Sure.
for example, which we personally both happen to like creamy bases, which is more like of a milk, or there's a dairy product usually in it, versus Italian dressing.
Yeah.
Now, if I was going to marinate steaks, I'm using that and basing in that. And
Sure.
maybe that's what the compromise is. I don't know if now that I've tasted it, I'm kind of mad at myself because this is garbage. But
I would never use this for greasing up a pan.
Yeah,
I would continue to use that because it's not a waste because it's garbage anyway.
Yeah, but at that point, why don't we just use butter? Which you prefer to.
I do.
And I was the one who made him use olive oil because I was always told it was better for me.
Yeah.
But now knowing how adulterated it is it actually good for me? I don't actually know anymore. Mueller kind of leaves that very iffy because let's say a shipment of olives comes or oil comes to a facility, the bottling facility. Sometimes they only test the beginning of the line and the end of the line. So which means all the stuff in between could be
Mystery juice.
lamp oil quality olives. So I don't know. It's a really interesting discussion.
So will this burn if we let it on fire?
It probably could. I don't want to know, and we're not going to film it. We'll do it off camera.
Stay tuned, patrons.
I know. Subscribe to the Patreon. And the Patreon will do crazy things. So this is the first episode of, I'm calling it R&D because it's Read and Delight, but I was going to call it R&E for Read It and Eat, but then that's the name of the box. So sound off in the comments below on what we should name this series. Like R&D makes sense because it's research and development, reading and discovering.
I was gonna suggest that.
Woo! Reading and discovering. Let us know. And let us know if Dan should continue to co-host these with me. I really hope he does. I think this would be fun. Stop being crazy. Next one on the horizon is actually all about fermentation. And I don't just mean making pickles. I'm hoping we can learn to ferment some other stuff. And you keep staring at me, probably because you don't know what to say. Say something.
That's all, folks. Da-na-na-na-na.
Okay, we're done.
Okay.